What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. I'm all nervous every time I do my intro because I feel like the camera's gonna go flying off like it did last time. But speaking of the old camera, good news is we have a new lens on the way. I actually decided to upgrade from the small kit lens, which was this like little 16 to 50 millimeter. It was actually a really nice lens. I liked it a lot, but I decided, and I had a kind of a ripe opportunity to change the lens styling up a little bit. And in turn, I'm hoping that that gets you guys some more stabilized footage. So I know that on the Sony, it can be a little bit difficult at times to get that image stabilization perfect, because unfortunately in the vlogging world, when you're not using anything other than like a point and shoot and you want to really kind of dig into a camera's capability, it can be somewhat difficult. The Sony that I have is the a6400. It works amazingly. It's got external microphone capability because I love to get you guys good audio, but it does not have built-in image stabilization. I am watching and tracking some new cameras that will be coming out later this year that hopefully have that, and in turn it will stabilize the footage, not this good, but a little bit better. Now this new lens for the Sony that I'm bringing on hopefully will improve things just a little bit, because I know that a nice stable image is awesome. Now of course I could get like a small point and shoot, but then you have to sacrifice on audio because they don't have the ability to plug in an auxiliary microphone. And well, for you guys, if you don't know, can you see it? I use an external microphone to get you guys better audio. This is the Canon M50 that I kind of started vlogging with, and that's kind of what I look at when I make videos for you guys. So I wanted to give y'all just a small little update on that, as I know that sometimes I get really excited and that results in kind of shaky footage, but I see your comments and I'm definitely doing all that I can with the options that are available, because there is no such thing as a perfect DSLR camera for vlogging. Now if Sony would just listen and Canon would just listen and they would offer something with 120 frames per second that had external audio capability, that was in a reasonable price, that had in-body image stabilization, the world would be perfect. It's almost like they're holding out just because they know. To me it doesn't seem all that complicated, but to them I guess it is. So today I really actually don't have all that much going on with these trucks here behind me. I have a few things in store for long bed Larry over here. The Minimax is sitting in the garage, and the LML as well, looking nice and pretty right here with its new Fury tires. But rather than doing something with the personal builds on the channel, as we're waiting for a lot of parts that are going to be coming in here soon, we've got another idea. And I think you guys are going to like it. So it's time to hit the road. Now we're actually going to review a truck that you guys have been asking a lot about lately, so I decided rather than just answering the questions, we would just take the truck out for the afternoon and have some fun with it. I think you guys are gonna like what you're gonna see. Now before we do that, I want to give you a small update on the 2020 Denali that's gonna be coming to the channel here, hopefully by the end of the month. We had a status change to 3400 yesterday, which basically means that it is now woo, wow, bumpy, jeez, my God, that road was bumpy. That means that it is now scheduled for production, ladies and gentlemen, and well, honestly, that was a few days ago, so it could be getting assembled right now as we speak, or well, as you're watching this video. Once we reach status code 3800, it's 3400 currently, that means that it is completed. Then it's ultimately just the tracking number to watch it get moved from Flint, Michigan, well, probably Flint Truck and Bus where it's getting assembled, to Easton, Pennsylvania, where I'll be picking it up at Star Buick GMC, which I am very, very thrilled about. Stay tuned, guys, because that truck is not that far away. It's starting to feel very, very real. Blake, those tunes are good, my friend. It feels nice. Real, real, real nice. This thing's finally awake. And as of right now, we have no updates as to the winner of Papa Smurf, but then again, we are only about a week out since that giveaway ended, and we have roughly another week, so hang tight, guys, mid-July. I know y'all are excited. Me too. So today, I'm playing around with this. I'm gonna need this. I know y'all been waiting for this video, and today's finally the day that it is taking place. I even wore my matching hat. Imagine that. Oh my God, Tracy Mello, I'm coming for you guys with the rhymes. All right, I gotta control myself though. But seriously, this is Sam's 2016 LML Denali DURTYMAX. Sam is the owner of Lime Ridge, also a very good friend of mine, and he lets me play around with a lot of these toys, honestly for my own self, but also for all of you guys. It's got a lot of interesting builds over here, and this has been the one that's really always kind of caught my attention. This thing truly is the one truck that changed my infatuation for white vehicles. There's something about this beautiful maroon color that just does something to the soul when you look at it in different angles and lights, etc. Plus, with the color matching of this truck, it is just absolutely beautiful. Now we're gonna go ahead and stroll around in this thing for a little while today, but before we get to that, I wanna go over the long list of modifications that this truck's had done to it here over the course of Sam's ownership. So let's just start with the most obvious things. The front end, everything's color matched. The Denali grille went from that chrome to a nice kind of contrasted black chrome with the black and the burgundy badge. That's a super cool accent that breaks up that massive Denali grille. We've also got color matched headlights, got Morimoto LED fog lights, built headlights all around, and then of course on the Denalis, the whole front bumper comes paint matched from the factory. Looking right up, we've got the 2017 through 2019 L5P Denali hood that's been fully color matched, unlike my truck where I have the color match and then the chrome. But obviously chrome on this truck is just unwelcome completely across the board. I think every piece of chrome has been deleted off this thing. It's riding on some 22x12s with a -44 offset wrapped in some proxies, which are the same tires that I share on the Mini-Max. Color match wheel well trim, which is an essential on the Denalis. For whatever reason, GMC thought it was a good idea to make this black, and then they bring it down to the bumper, and then it just turns to paint matched. I've never really actually understood that logic, but you can see that when it is paint matched, it's got a nice clean finish. It's not like there's any clashing lines. And hint for the 2020 Denali, we gotta kind of reevaluate things. We'll get there later though. Then of course, these mirrors are fully paint matched, both the caps and the plastics, and it's got some sort of switchback LEDs. I think these are all white lighting across the board, as a matter of fact. So white running lights, you've got the white daytime running lights, you've got white LEDs up on the cab, and then you've got the white lights here that do switch back to orange turn signals. Pretty slick in my opinion. It's got powder coated black trim moldings and Denali badges, which is sweet. I like that a lot. Color matched door handles. I mean, literally everything is color matched. All the way down to the front mud flap that has been color matched as well. Then on the back end, we've got some OEM Denali taillights that have been tinted except for the reverse light you can see right there. Color matched tailgate handle. And then this truck has been converted from its traditional bumper to a roll pan, but it still maintains functionality as there is a hidden hitch. I don't know the name of that hitch, but it's pretty slick because it still gives you the ability to throw in a trailer hitch if you'd like. Looks like there's a differential cover down there by Magtech. Traction bars on the exterior. Now these are the ones that have the shock system in them, so they actually can flex a little bit more than your traditional traction bar. Here, GM take notes because everybody wants it. They buy them aftermarket just to offer them as a factory option. We've got the amp research steps, which you guys have wanted me to get on my LML for the longest time, but I've refused to because I honestly look at my old grandpa steps on that truck as a means of protecting the rockers, which are in very, very good shape considering the fact that that truck's had 14 wides on it now for about 2.5 years. That's why I have them. It's protection. As you can see with these, they tuck up very nice and clean, but then everything is exposed. Now, while we're talking about things kind of down under here, he's got King shocks all the way around. I haven't driven this truck on the road, although I moved it around this parking lot 100 gazillion times. So I'm really excited to let you guys know how they feel. On the back end here, there's some DHD gearing in the rear end as this truck was actually used. As pretty as it looks, it is not 100% a mall crawler. This truck was literally used to do sled pulling. Yes, it's actually set up to be a sled pulling truck, or once was, as I should say. Now it isn't so much anymore. It's more of kind of a street fun play truck. But yes, this thing did hook up to multiple sleds in its career. Now from an exhaust perspective, I believe it's like a 4 or 5 inch exhaust that goes to an 8-inch miter cut stack on the back. As you guys heard earlier, this thing sounds absolutely sick. I love it. I've actually never driven an LML DURTYMAX that has a stack. I've driven a few other stack trucks before, but these LMLs are kind of unique in the sense that they're not that loud. I think most DURTYMAXs can kind of share that as a common characteristic, so it should be kind of interesting to see how that thing does on the highway. And then of course, where all the magic happens, up under the hood. Of course, we've got nothing but the best up under here, Whirly Custom Fab. If you guys want to get free shipping on anything Whirly, use discount code Enthusiast. That's free shipping on anything from t-shirts to transmissions, by the way, guys. So we've got the high flow bundle in here, the Y bridge. In the Valley, actually, this is this truck's third turbo, I want to say, counting the stock one. So we had a stock VGT, a Stealth 64 VGT, which I have on my LML, and I absolutely love it. DURTYMAX tuner. You guys crushed it with that piece of engineering. Now this turbo actually has a little bit of a story. This is a Stealth 67 from DURTYMAX tuner that I actually picked up for the LML, but I never decided on actually putting it in because of the fact that it is a 67mm turbo, and it probably wouldn't be best fit for the application that I use that truck. I use it to tow a lot. I didn't want to increase kind of that air threshold of the turbo, as I didn't want to make the truck work too hard if it didn't have to. Now the turbo is somewhat laggier than that of the VGT, and I say that lightly because if you compare the VGT 67mm to, let's just say, a non-VGT, you're gonna notice way faster spoolability with the VGT because you have the actuation of those vanes. Trust me, it's a big difference. So what happened was is Sam actually ended up picking that up off of me. We got it powder coated to match the rest of the piping, as you can see, and then he just dropped that in. So I'm really excited to see how my turbo's doing in, well, his truck, and now that it's his turbo, of course. This truck's also got a 10mm CP3 by Exergy in the Valley, 100% over Exergy injectors, and a Suncoast 750 horsepower trans to kind of marry all of that power to the ground in a somewhat healthy fashion. Unlike old long bed Larry over there, his trans isn't all that happy right now. Now suspension wise, he does have drop shackles in the rear, and I believe it sits at about stock height in the front. So for me, this truck on 12 wides is set up perfectly because it really kind of accomplishes that super low and wide look. Just look at how menacing that truck and that color combination looks. This thing is absolutely gorgeous. And of course, as you guys know, this truck has something that the LML doesn't. My LML. Whoa, that is so dark. Yep. It's got a sunroof and a heated steering wheel. If you know, you know. So enough of me talking, let's go out and get some initial driving impressions on this truck. I'm very excited to see how this thing does. Not only just because of the way that it's been built, but also because it's got some added fuel to support that awesome DURTYMAX tuner Stealth 67, which I was eager to put in my truck, but I decided to kind of not do that just because of the reasons that I explained earlier. This truck is way more suited for it now, especially because it's not as much of a sled pulling truck. Rather, it's more of just a fun all around capable build. All right, I've got the camera on the dashboard. Hopefully it stays there. I did not bring my GoPro as the audio on that thing is not all that good. So anyway, it's actually incredible how much a sunroof truly opens up the ambiance of an interior. Needless to say, I'm extremely excited to have one in the new Denali that's going to be joining us on the channel here, hopefully very soon. So initial impressions on driving with a stack in an LML for the first time is, well, here, let me just do something for us real quick here. There's the sunroof open, and then the rear window. Let's just enjoy this for a minute. That sounds so sick. It's incredible. Turn the engine brake on here. That whistle is just... That whistle never ever gets old. Little engine brake. Stealth brakes really hard too. I like it a lot. And there goes the camera. Alright, I'm getting pretty distracted. It's time to close that up. And our camera doesn't want to stay, so we're just gonna have to hold it here, boys. Now, this thing does have a locker in the rear, so it's not like the rear end's spinning independently. It's actually locked up at any given point in time, so if you turn too hard, it's kind of like a drift truck. Whereas like... That Stealth moves. Oh my goodness, this sounds. Pump the brakes, boys, pump the brakes. Roads in Mexico are awfully beautiful and green, I'll tell you what. Wow, that thing goes. Oh my God, that sounds sick. Guys, comparing this to the Stealth that I'm accustomed to with stock fuel in the LML, oh my God, this thing is an animal. Holy crap. The sensation is so hard to communicate, but I hope that this does something for you guys. Wow. That is addictive fun right there. Just so you guys can get the full effect of how sick this stack sounds right here over the right side of your ear, I got you guys hooked up. Sam, now I can see why you stacked it, buddy. That is so sick. Man, if I had a rear sliding window in the Mini-Max, we'd be stacking that thing like tomorrow. We'll start from a little first gear, roll into here. I can't even begin to express that feeling of it just ripping my ear. Wow, that was incredible. Oh my God, guys, I'm getting distracted from doing this little rest of the review here. Let's just talk about a few other quick little characteristics of this build real fast before I just decide to spend my whole afternoon listening to that wonderful eargasmic sound. The first thing I want to comment on is the ride quality of this truck right now. Obviously, we're talking a GM, so it's got independent front suspension, but it has been lowered down. It really doesn't have much pressure on the torsion keys, then it's dropped in the back. Plus, in addition to those king shocks with the external reservoirs, we're really kind of talking top of the food chain there in terms of suspension, and I'm telling you what, you hit these bumps and you really don't even know. Kind of feels like you're riding on a cloud. It's very similar. Plus, the steering feel of a 12 wide versus a 14 wide is a little bit lighter. You feel way more kind of agile, nimble, and quick, if you will, which is super nice. Plus, just sitting here behind the dash, I've always loved the red accents of the Denalis, or at least this generation. They did switch in the L5Ps to a blue that's very similar to that of my LML, but I feel like this is unique, it's zesty, and I really feel like it kind of fits at least this truck, especially because of the whole red and black theme. That's almost like something that you would do in the aftermarket, you know, sending your gauge cluster off to kind of match the color scheme of your ride. But what's cool about these trucks, it's completely factory. Now in the Denalis, you also have this kind of customizable dash with 4 key indicators, and then of course your main selection screen. And as you guys can see here, this truck only has 9,500 whole miles on it. And just look how menacing, although this Astro doesn't have the absolute best reflection, it kind of could use some TLC. The reflection of those 2 LEDs is just so menacing from the front end. I absolutely love that styling characteristic of the GMCs. All right, so now that you've heard how absolutely insane this thing sounds from the inside, let's get you guys some external exhaust clips, because you gotta get the whole package. Well, what do you guys think of that beast? Oh my God, that is so fun. I'll tell you what, heavily modified LMLs are really impressive trucks. The LMLs are good to about 750 horsepower. LMMs and down, so basically from 2010 and down, are only good to about 650. So like the Mini-Max, for instance, it's making way more power than it actually should be, especially on those stock head bolts. But when you get into the LML, you really kind of reap all the benefits of just that latest and greatest engineering, if you will. This thing is just absolutely sick in so many ways, and I'm still just infatuated with looking at this color in person. It looks awesome normally, but then if you look at it through polarized glasses, it's kind of hard to tell, but it makes it stand out just so much more. And that's Stealth 67, guys. For anybody considering going turbo upgrade, if you want to go bigger than that of, let's just say, a 64mm or something that's comparable to stock, and you're considering maybe fixed vane, give that Stealth some consideration. You can do some light towing with it. You're not going to want to frequently tow very heavy loads, but it'll tow better than a non-VGT turbo. Those things require a lot more fuel and a lot more air and a lot more RPMs to actually get spooling, whereas these don't. And when it lights, it is so fun. Plus you get the exhaust brake benefit, and you get that lovely, lovely turbine whistle. What's going on, man? How are you? Great, how are you?
Awesome to meet you.
Oh, yeah, sweet, man.
That's so cool.
Yeah? What's your name?
That is so cool, Jimmy.
Jimmy, pleasure to meet you too,
Pleasure
dude.
to meet you. That's so cool.
Like, you're in control, man. You're holding the joystick, so.
Like I said, it was awesome to meet you.
Dude, I appreciate your support. It literally means the world, dude.
That's awesome.
Seriously, guys, I love meeting all of you whenever I get the opportunity. It's really cool because Lime Ridge is family to me at this point. And a lot of you do come here, a lot of you do search the website, which is great, but I think the coolest part is the fact that when I'm here, I get to stumble into new faces all the time, and I get to learn more about my viewers, my audience, my supporters, my family. You guys are literally everything, and I probably won't ever have the opportunity to meet every single one of you, but the people that I do get to meet, I love to take time with just to get to know a little bit more, because we all share that same passion at the end of the day, and we're all pretty loose in the head. We all have a few screws loose because we obsess over inanimate objects all the time. We all work to play. And the objective in life is to always surround yourself with those that share similar interests. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this day. I'm gonna wash old long bed Larry because he's looking all dirty over here. Old grandpa. We gotta clean up his act a little bit, maybe change his diaper, I don't know. But all seriousness, guys, stay tuned for the 5.9 Cummins announcement, which is coming here shortly. And we have Dream Diesel giveaway number 4 that is queued up and ready in the chamber. We just can't pull the trigger on it quite yet. More limited, really dope products to come, but we'll talk more about that in later episodes. My Like League, I love you guys. Do what you do best. Tap that subscribe button on your way out. Don't like smash it. Like if you're considering, just like lightly tap it. And I'll see you all in the next upload.
No suit and tie, but baby, I go to work. Don't do it for the money, but that's one of the perks.